Come manifest your best life with 190 Vision.
My name is Laura. My husband and I are going to have a discussion about our memorable or notable moments that we've experienced in 190 Vision since 190 Vision started. Honey,
I'm here.
what is your most notable memory since we started with 190 Vision here?
But asking just about one then, right? Because most means one. Right?
Well, yes, the one that stands out the most to you at this point in time. And then we can go into others that come to mind.
I'd say that the most memorable for me, and I won't use the name for this one, right? I won't use the name, is the day that we were driving to the store. You wanted to go to the grocery store, and the phone rang. Your cell phone rang, and the one that you use rang. And I remember you saying, okay, hold on. Because I remember you telling me how the individual wanted to talk to me. But then I was driving and I said, well, how about if you just talk to him because I'm driving? And you said, no. He said he has to talk to you. You remember that?
Yes.
What did he tell you? Well, how did that part of the conversation go before I continue?
Basically, he said, I have a gun in my hand. I'm ready to kill myself. I want to say goodbye to my. And then he asked for you.
Right? So to me, because when you, well, you didn't tell me that part. Did you tell me that part? I don't recall if you told me that at that time when you gave me the phone.
I didn't, because you were driving, first of all. And then secondly, there was no time to waste. He just told me he had a gun in his hand.
Right.
And he was ready to take his life. I'm not going to waste time. I handed you the phone.
I didn't recall you telling me that part at all. So I remember you giving me the phone, and I was surprised that he insisted on talking to me because normally he would just talk to you and that would be it. Like he never really wanted to talk to me once he talked to you.
Mm-hmm.
So that alone what surprised me, right? And then once we started talking, and then he told me about how he had the gun to his head, or was it to his mouth? To his mouth, something, whatever it was. He said, "I'm about to pull this trigger, but I wanted to talk to you. I just get the feeling that I should talk to you first." I was just taken aback by that because I never had an experience like that before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I remember saying, "Okay, could you do me a favor?" And he said, "What?" I said, "I'm driving to the store. We're getting to the parking lot in a moment. How about if we just talk until I get into the parking lot and I park the car so you and I can talk?" And he said, "Sure, okay." And that's when, as I was talking to him, he was telling me why he was feeling that way, and it was time to end his life. And I remember asking him, I know you were just sitting in the car, you couldn't hear the other end of the conversation, right?
Right.
And I remember asking him, all right, could you give me just a moment? Let me do something from here, and then I'll get back on the phone. I'll be on the phone, but I'll be quiet for a moment. Is that okay with you? And he asked me, well, what are you going to do? I said, just let me try something from here, and let's see if it helps. Let's see if it works. And he said, what are you going to do? I said, just let me try. Let's just see what happens. And I was sitting there in the parking lot. You're there in the passenger seat, and I had to close my eyes. Then I'll say it like this: called upon the team, right? And I said, hey, if there's any time that I need you, it's right now. And I get to work here. He definitely needs your help. And once I was done, I asked him, how are you feeling? And he said, I already put the gun down. I feel fine. And we had a normal conversation at that point. I think Did you go into the store and I stayed in the car? I don't recall.
I think you followed me later. I went into the store ahead of you. Yes.
Right. Okay.
While you guys were talking.
Right. So I remember we had a conversation after that, and he felt a whole lot better, and he thanked me for whatever it was that was done. I just told him just thank God and thank Archangel Michael, and he did that out loud while we were talking. I remember that because to me, I really, there's so many times that I'd done the same thing that I did on his behalf. But because people normally take such a long time to give an update, you really don't know how quickly it's effective, right?
Right.
And in this case, I got immediate feedback because he was on the phone with me. And just like that, he was fine. The most amazing part to me to this day is that I probably performed or facilitated maybe a couple more clearings on this individual within that same short span, right? Maybe within a week of each other. And he has never required any more clearing after that. And he's been fine, completely fine ever since, living a fantastic life, just enjoying life. I remember that only because, to me, when you start talking about someone taking his or her life and watching the individual just change his or her mind just like that in such a short time, I mean, that's just amazing. To me, that's just amazing. So that definitely stands out for me as the most memorable, I said, dumbfounding moment. And also, how do I put it? I wouldn't say scary, but talk about emotional. I don't know if I were even emotional. Maybe that's not even the right word to use. If there were ever a time for me to see proof that the Ascended Masters, Archangel Michael, and the spiritual team is there to work with anybody, any of us, that was proof for me on that day.
Okay. So that's the most memorable one that stood out for you.
Right. How about you?
Oh, for
me, think of any?
While you were speaking, I just remember in the earlier days, you were still coaching soccer as always, and you came home from the game telling me that one of the boys had all of a sudden had tremendous back pain and couldn't move. He was just laying on the field.
Oh, yes.
And you said that he just asked you for help. Somehow he knew you could help him. He just said, Coach, I just need some help, or something to that effect. And you told me that you told him just to lay still, be quiet for a little bit. And you went ahead and, I'll say, did your thing, calling upon your team. And in a few minutes, he was up, jumping around, said nothing was wrong with him. He could move. He was running. Nothing was wrong with him anymore. But before that, he couldn't even move. He was in so much pain. So that one is memorable to me.
Yeah, but that's just a hearsay story for you. You weren't there for that one. I was thinking more of one where you were personally involved. But you're right, that was a good one. And he never told me anything. It was the other kids. What happened with that story is that they were warming up before the game, and I told them I'm going to the bathroom, is what I said. So I went to the bathroom, and when I came back, the boys came running to me and I said, Coach, there's something wrong with, I wanted the name, right? I said, there's something wrong with him. I said, what? They said, he can't move. And when I got there, he was just laying on the field.
To hear the rest of this story, go to 190 Vision TV on Roku TV or Amazon Fire.